Listen if you will.
Vanessa, of course, was and still is hugely important to the campaign in Borkum. Last August, on another sunny day, an inspirational speech was given, a message of support to the protest camp at Borkum. And today, in support of Mothers Against Fracking, that same speaker is here today. She is founder and chair of the Bianca Jagger Human Rights Foundation. She is Council of Europe Goodwill Ambassador, IUCN Planter Pledge Ambassador, and she is member of the Executive Directors Leadership Council of Amnesty International USA. The truly inspirational Bianca Jagger.
Thank you, Julie, and thank you, all of you, for being here with us. It is a pleasure and a privilege to be with you today. Thank you for joining us on Mother's Day to support our Mothers Against Fracking rally. I know it is very difficult. I know you would prefer to be with your sons and daughters and your husbands, but instead you are here. And it really made me feel privileged that you have asked me to speak to you today. As a mother, as a grandmother, and a soon-to-be a great-grandmother, I have come here today to support you at this event because I am deeply concerned about the impact that fracking will have in our way of life, in our environment, our water, the air, and our land. Hydraulic fracturing is not a panacea, as the proponents of fracking in the government will have us believe. And I know that you know that, but I wish that people throughout the country will understand that. That I wish that people throughout the country will not let us be deceived by our government and by politicians who pressures more a special interest, that they pressure our future, our life, our water, our land. Government, their claims that fracking will be good for the country, achieve energy independence, is all a complete rubbish, and you know that. In spite of all the evidence available, our government would like us to believe the rhetoric of safe regulation, of job creation, and cheap, clean energy to bridge a gap in our energy needs. The government is aware that loosening planning regulations for drilling could trigger a whole host of potential disasters, including water and soil contamination, flooding, landslides, noise pollution, lung-threatening silica dust, traffic overload, and visual intrusion into the landscape. But we know the truth about fracking, and we know it from every other country that bears the scar of this fracking industry. Sorry about that. Can you hear me anyway? Yes. Even if I don't have it too close. Yes. The truth is fracking causes contamination of aquifers, leakage of toxic chemicals into the ground, air pollution, and if allowed to go ahead and challenge, it will forever alter England's glorious countryside. So you don't have to be an environmentalist. You don't have to care about the future of your children, but perhaps you just care about our countryside, our land. That must mean something to everybody in this country. Each well drilled requires millions of liters of water, which would place an immense strain on an already scarce resource. Each well produces toxic flowback fluid and drilling muds, which will need to be properly disposed of. Can we ever trust companies to do this? Can we trust our government to ensure that they will do it? No, we can't. Can you please tell me, do you trust our government to protect us?
No!
And why are we here? We're here because we are the mothers that are unopposed fracking, because we care about our children, because we care about our grandchildren, because we care about future generations, because we care about the environment. Only last week, the BBC reported that the shale gas industry must learn from leaks and poor monitoring at existing onshore oil and gas sites. Why? Because a recent review by Refine, researching fracking in Europe, had discovered up to 100 orphans. It was so extraordinary when Julie pointed this out to me, because it's so fitting that we should be talking about orphans on Mother's Day. Wells for which no company is responsible. If those orphan oil wells were to leak, who will be responsible? Do you think that our government will be responsible? Do you think that politicians will be responsible? Do you think that Lord Brown will be responsible? No, we know he will not be responsible. We don't know, said Professor Richard Davis of Durham University. Between 2000 and 2013, 9 pollution incidents were conducted and recorded involving the release of crude oil within 1 kilometer of an oil or gas well. 2 of these related to well integrity failures which occurred at Singleton oil field in West Sussex when the cement casing around the well was breached. But researchers found no data for more than 2,000 inactive wells, many of which have been abandoned, sealed, uncovered, and in many cases, orphaned. Refined researchers found that there are already 50 and 100 wells in the UK without any obvious parent. So, considering all this, I ask the same question of those who wish to frack for shale gas in this country. What happens when the operator goes out of business or becomes insolvent? When the company that operates that well is no longer responsible for it? What will happen if the shale gas bonanza goes ahead as our Prime Minister wishes it to be, and 100 sites a year are drilled, as was forecast at the recent Shale Gas Forum in London? Were you, any of you, at that forum?
Yes. 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 Yes.
I say to you now, the only guarantee we have of safety is if those wells are never, never drilled. That is why we are here today, to send a clear message to David Cameron that we cannot and we will not stand back and allow the devastating impact of the fracking industry to go ahead. We will resist.
Yes.
I want you to say, we will resist. Please. As
We will resist!
Our environment, our water sources, the air and the land are precious resources which we must conserve if we are to leave a habitable world to future generations. I support anyone who is threatened by extreme energy extraction, not just in my capacity as founder and chair of the Bianca Jagger Human Rights Foundation and a committed environmentalist, but also because I love this country and I will be devastated to witness the industrialization of our countryside. Courageous communities up and down the country are resisting this industry. In Balcom,
Yes.
are you here from Balcom? Thank you for being here. And in many other places, can you please tell me from where? In Bartonmoss? Are you here? Thank you for being here. In Fardon, in Southwell, in Falkirk, and other places. We are here with you. Wherever the fracking industry tries to take hold, we will resist because we understand the danger and the truth about fracking. We Mothers Against Fracking, we will protect our children, and we will resist, and we will resist. Amongst the talk of parent companies abandoning orphan wells, We stand here today as mothers and fathers, parents who will not abandon the responsibility to their children's future. It is high time our government took responsibility for weighing the dangers of this enterprise. So I urge Prime Minister Cameron to stop endorsing this hazardous technology. If the fracking companies are allowed to rip our land, it will be a betrayal of our children, our grandchildren, and our great-grandchildren. And together we will resist.
We will resist.